Hi, my name's Emma and I'd like to be considered as a volunteer.
Both houses in India, who says you can't?
Hi, I'm Vicky Rose. I work in the Lincoln Crawl Centre.
Hi, I'm Jen Nicholson. I'm a senior scheduler in EE Planning.
Hi, my name's John Dean. I work in the Group Central Operations Hub as a work allocator.
And this is the place that I live. I'm the luckiest man alive.
10 volunteers. Led by Shirley and conceived by Nicola. The mission? To build this family a permanent home, something they've not had for 5 generations. 12 weeks to raise £25,000. We actually raised £31,000. And we're off, flying from 4 different locations around the UK and converging on Mumbai. After a good night's sleep, we rose early and got ready for a 4-hour drive to Kajat. The traffic in the city is crazy, with cars and motorbikes diving into the smallest of spaces. Whole families on mopeds drive the wrong way down streets, and pedestrians treat crossing the road as an opportunity to play chicken with everything. We opted, instead of going straight to our hotel, to stop off at the village and get a lie of the land, hoping it would save us time tomorrow.
Yeah, the mix should be ready.
We were treated to a demonstration of how the bricks are handmade and dried in the sun.
Wow.
And is traditional. The first few bricks are blessed to bring good fortune to those that will go on to use them.
Because I got to tell you, culturally, right hand is the right hand in India. Okay, it's a girl, lady's job. Yeah. Wonderful. You know, they waited for, this family waited for 5 generations to build their own home. It's 5 generations means, remember, it's about 200 years.
We were greeted by kids on drums, and each presented with a flower garland by a member of the family whose home we will be building. Where the previous day the villagers were standoffish, today we can already see a difference. And Dev, being a Hindi speaker, helps us break the ice with a few of the less hesitant ladies. We are then processioned down to a tented area, which is made from beautiful fabrics that will act as our base for the duration of the build.
Good to be Tyler.
We each receive the tradition to honour guests of Aarti. This involves the smoke from a candle wafted over your face, and a spot, called a tilak, made from turmeric and vermilion powder, is placed between your eyebrows. With stiff limbs, we made our way to the site, looking forward to what the day had to offer. We marvelled at the beauty of the countryside, and we're gradually beginning to acclimatise to the 35-degree heat. The previous day, we'd been split into 2 teams, with one working on the brick house and the other laying a foundation for the next house to be built. Nick picks up the commentary.
Here's the team turned up for day 2 on the build. Have a little walk down to our tent where we kind of dump all our stuff and have our food. So this is the foundation we helped build yesterday. It's looking pretty finished. We've got about an hour's work just to top it off. You can see the guys are starting to fill up the inside. We need to get it above ground level because then they'll damp it down with water and that'll compact the soil and make it nice and hard. And then when we finish that, we're going over to another site and starting to actually dig the trench, the foundation sits in.
A quick mid-morning refuel back in the shade of the tents gives everyone a chance to regroup and plan for the next block of work. While Hilary from Habitat for Humanity in the blue shirt consults with Santosh and the Masons about what's needed next.
So this is mid-morning, day 2. Look at the progress that Team 2 have made. Absolutely outstanding to go from just a flat base to what, kind of somewhere between a third and a half of a house, I'd say. You look at the door frame where they're up to. This is how the guys actually make the mortar that's used to bind the bricks together. It's agricultural, shall we say, but very effective. And you can see the guys have actually built some scaffolds to get them up to the next level once the bricks go up. Then you can see the guys over here actually on the scaffold have built.
After the day's work was complete, we left the village to visit a school having a sports day. We were in for a shock. Clearly they were expecting us, as they had a troop of girls with cymbal shakers and a man with a massive speaker banging out a repetitive beat. We were filtered onto a stage, and one by one greeted by a local dignitary and given a flower as a gift.
Welcome, and right, sir.
It turned out this event was the regional trials for the national games, and over 1,200 students were taking part in sports like kabaddi and volleyball. We spent some time watching some of the sports. First up, a tense game of kabaddi, which is as tactical as it is physical. We were then invited to take part in a game of volleyball against a girls' team. It's fair to say that they showed us how it's supposed to be done. Note, this game has been heavily edited to reduce embarrassment. Although we did manage to salvage a tiny amount of dignity with a short-lived late flourish. Handshakes and pats on the back, and we leave before we get challenged to anything else. We call in at Kajat on the way back to have a quick look around and locate some refreshments. Our beds will feel good tonight. Rested, fed and watered, the team dragged their weary bodies out of bed, ready for the third day of the build.
Good morning, world. Day 3. Yeah, commentary's good.
Yeah, is that all right?
Perfect.
Yeah, we've done an awful lot in 2 days. I think we're at least half a day ahead of schedule. And it's a pretty good team, especially the BT crowd.
We've heard much about how the women of the villages are responsible for so much, but one of their main duties is walking to the nearest well and fetching water. Our village is lucky because its well is only 1 kilometre away. We ask if we can help, and so we take a trip there to experience what these women have to do every day.
You were hoping.
Even watching the team shift this amount of water in the persistent heat is tiring. And to think these few ladies routinely carry up to 4 of these water pots on their heads makes it all the more astounding. A quick photo, and I guess we better crack on with some building. But not before saying hi to the cute kids. On the main house, your primary purpose is to get the bricks and mortar where the mason need it, before they need it. So you spend much of the time in a chain gang moving things into position ready for the call to go up. Meanwhile, over at the second foundation site, the trench is dug and ready for the first stone to be laid, along with the usual blessing. That evening, we visited a nearby village that had some families who the charity had already built homes for. The homeowners were kind enough to let us see their home. Here you can see a typical cooking setup that every home has. A homemade wood-fired stove. The local people eat a meal of rice and dal 3 times a day, 7 days a week.
Or stone like this, and
also, you'll notice that the homes have very little else. No decoration, no furniture, usually just a pot rack to keep their kitchenware on.
he has one daughter, right? And she's the only hope. And if you had come over here, his house was like that.
The homeowners, although very shy, proudly answered our questions about what it was like to have a Habitat for Humanity home.
Okay, so what he explained that before Habitat intervention, they were just staying in a very, very bad house.
And finally, we were treated to a series of tribal dances performed by the villagers. Progress on the trench for the second foundation was excellent and would be even better today. This lady is the grandmother of the family who will live in the house. She says that she's been 60 for the last 20 years. Now that the base stone is in place, the team carried the larger rocks by hand from a supply pile and got cracking with getting cement to the masons in order to get the foundation wall built.
Hey, there's the boys. Yes. let's go and have a look at what Matty Man's doing. This guy we've nicknamed Matty Man.
Matty Man.
He does a hell of a job. Mixing this all up with his feet. Hey! And then he keeps filling up the bolts for us to ferry back and forward. The Matty Man.
The final day's building work consisted of a big push on the brick house to get the last few walls completed. Then, inevitably, with emotions running high, a bit of mucking around. We then had some free time to spend with the kids. So far, we grabbed a few moments here and there, but this was great because it was proper, dedicated time to enjoy with them. We handed out prizes and gifts and made donations to the village school. We learnt a lot too. We learnt that children's birthdays aren't celebrated because the cost of a balloon was broadly the same as a day's supply of food for the family. It was great to be able to give them tiny gifts that our kids would take for granted, but to these little ones, these were things of wonder. Even handing out stickers was a major event. After decorating the 3 sites with balloons and bunting, we headed down to the brick house in order to do a formal blessing and handover. The family then cut a ribbon to declare the home open. They then conveyed their thanks for our help.
Very good.
It's very auspicious thing, and it is.
And then the
Yes.
Japan is there?
Yeah.
Ah, wonderful.
Some of the team then gave speeches about what the experience meant to them.
So we want to thank you for how you first welcomed us. We were 17 strangers, and we were really touched and privileged by the effort that you made, and with all the lovely flowers.
Everything covered by Jen and David. Additionally, I just wanted them to actually make sure their kids get education, go to school, not just their kids, but the rest of the kids in the school, and progress in that way. Because end of the day, education is the most important thing. This is what is going to make them to understand the importance of all this and be able to progress further. And also, I've told them how happy you are, how kind of, you appreciate all the effort done by them as well. Yeah. So this is why they said thank you to you all. All right. Thank you very much, guys. So now my plan.
The family are very young and one of the poorest in the village. It was hard to tell, but he was overwhelmed by the situation and could barely find words to say.
He's very nervous.
180.
He's very nervous. They know the order.
All right, here you go. Take now. Oh man. You got to be like 10 this side. Yeah, that's good.
Jesus, John, I can't get you in frame. Bloody big giant.
And finally, at the third site, we gave the family the traditional gifts and got together for a group photo.
All right, guys. Here you go. Like 3, 2, 1, and take. All right. Hey, wait a minute, not done. Not done.
For the last time, we headed to the bus, climbed aboard, exhausted from what had been an emotion-filled day, and said our now customary goodbyes. As the bus trundled down the dust road away from the village, a hush gradually descended on the bus. You could see everyone deep in thought. The last week had been a roller coaster, but what a ride. There would be tears both of joy and sadness, and a newfound determination to do it all again.